All right.
Hey, Dave, how you doing?
Good afternoon, morning, whatever.
Coach, what's been the point of emphasis after Thursday?
Getting back on track. I mean, that's what everybody's. That's was the mantra this week, and make plays when they're there. Get back to practicing, with great effort and being exact in what we do, and just be us. That's really what the message was this week.
You see anything on teams in the Lions game that surprised you one way or the other?
You talking about the fake?
Well,
Yeah, no.
not just that, but anything else.
No, I mean, really, I was really disappointed with the fake just because we worked so hard. We spent, we invested a lot of time on it, and, it wasn't like we were tricked or anything, but, our guys reacted well. We just didn't make the play. They made a play, we didn't. It was a gutsy call, good call. It is what it is, but I wasn't surprised by anything they did. I mean, I thought our punter punted great and kicker kicked great, and we covered well, so other than that,
What about anything your guys did or didn't do during the game? Your guys?
they were good. I mean, I was kind of impressed with Connor. Connor did a nice job. He made a nice tackle on a punt. No hesitation, just shooting it, taking the shot there and making a nice tackle. And Cam, did a nice job too. 44, as rookies, and then our other guys, they were solid. They were solid.
Dave, on the fake, you guys were ready for it, and you talk about just a split-second reaction. How can you stop something like that? It's such a short gain. Can you be more ready than extra ready on real short ones?
Yeah, I mean, in that situation, we could keep defense on the field. I had punt return out there. You're on the 17-yard line. You're not expecting that, but we are expecting it when we're on the field. We talked about it, but we had punt return personnel out there. I could have had D linemen out there. I mean, that would have been a perfect scenario. But all the other scenarios in the game, if you watched it, we had defense stay on the field. I left the big guys on the field in the short yard situation, so it might have deterred them. Who knows? They might have had the thing called anyway. I mean, who knows? I mean, really. We just Cook made a nice hit on it, knocked him sideways. We just didn't get that guy to he stood him up. We didn't get that guy to knock it back. We had it initially stop, but he fell forward and got the first down. I mean, it would have been a big play for us had we gotten that one. I mean, I'm pretty sure things would have been different.
Was there a discussion with Andy before that fake about leaving the defense on the field?
No, Andy does. He relies on me to make those calls. I mean, he doesn't. He trusts me.
Even
That's
a
my
thing
call.
like that, he'll leave
Yeah.
that to you. You
Yes.
tell him, hey, we need the defense on the field.
Yeah, I mean, I make those calls. Yep.
Are you
That's so.
finding, I'm sorry, Coach, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I know you run all kinds of numbers, but like, our teams much more, we focus just on you guys, we don't look at the trends against the leagues. And are you getting more teams doing that against you than the norm? Is that something you have to be more ready for?
Yeah, we talked about it all year last year. We were ready for stuff. We talked about it. We know when people play us, they got to try to steal possessions, and that's one way to do it. And we have to be, whether it's an onside kick or a fake punt, or all those different scenarios we have to be ready for. Anytime they have the ball in their hand and they control a situation, we have to be able to play defense. And we talk about it, we practice the heck out of it. And we're gonna make a lot of those plays, but sometimes they get us, and they got us.
Dave, you mentioned Cam Jones. How much did you see the special teams ability? Is that one of the reasons that did you play a part in getting him here as an undrafted free agent? And is that something throughout camp and everything?
Yeah, I mean, our scouting department did a great job of finding that guy. I mean, he was a guy that was in camp, and he did a good job and made plays in preseason. So we saw that he could be a good special teams player. The way the numbers worked out that week, we were able to get him up. He's on the 53. Going forward, he could be up, he could be down, depending on what we do on different spots. And I'm pleased with the way he's developing.
Coach, in games like that, the punt unit was pretty clutch with Tommy pushing him back there.
Yes.
How valuable was it?
Huge, because there was a lot of times our offense, we weren't, clicking on all cylinders. So we had to flip the field. And Tommy, we had 5 punts, 4 of them were outstanding with great hang time, great coverage. Gunners did a good job, and we were able to flip the field. We had one bad punt, and it was at the last one. But he was definitely a factor in that game. Obviously,
As you look
Didn't turn
forward,
out.
what stands out about Jacksonville in your face?
Agnew, the returner. I mean, he's scary good. Obviously, we have a lot of respect for him. He's been the main focus this week is trying to control him.
Last one, Nick.
No, no,
Okay.
Just
Thanks, everybody.
real quick, I was gonna ask about Richie James and how you thought about his first impressions.
Yeah, I mean, Richie did a good job fielding the football on punt. We didn't get any opportunities on kick return, so I think he's going to be fine. I like his leadership back there. He did a good job fielding the ball. Obviously the ball came out after he came on his head, landed on his head. But besides that, only one game in. So,
Thanks, everybody.
all right, thank you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, how's everybody doing? Good to see you, doing great. I'll go quick for you. Listen, I'll go back real, it's been a while since we played that game. I'll just go back real quick. I'll tell you what I told the unit when I saw them. I was proud of the way, overall, with the way we performed, but I also said that it's a bottom line business, and the bottom line was we didn't win the game. So somewhere in there, we needed to find one more stop in the fourth quarter. Could have helped us win the football game. So having said that, that's put to rest. Now we're on to Jacksonville. Had a pretty good practice yesterday, good little walk through here, and get ready to practice this afternoon. So with that, I'll open it up.
Steve, how did Chris look in practice?
Yeah, good. Yeah, Chris wanted to, like, everybody got a lot of energy, right? He's well rested. He wanted to go every play yesterday, but we had to kind of tone it down on him. But he looked good.
What are your plans for him on Sunday?
Well,
at this point?
we'll get through today and tomorrow and see where he is. I'll be curious to talk with him and see how he feels, condition. That's the biggest thing, right? Is the condition. The one thing we don't want to do, we want to protect against as best as we can, is to not put him in a situation where we get him hurt. We certainly don't want that. And we all know, look, he hasn't had a lot of work up till this point. We'll get him as much as we can and then try to be smart on game day.
What's a reasonable snap count for a situation?
I don't want to put a number on it. I really don't. I had 1 year I was in, I forget where I was. We had a linebacker that didn't play very much. It was like, we're gonna keep you at 25, 30, played 60 plays. Yeah, it was like, okay, I don't know what, I can't remember why, but
Lost count, or-
I don't know. It wasn't so much that as the way the game went, or maybe somebody got hurt. Maybe the backup got hurt or something. But it was, so I'm not gonna slap a number on it.
You do anticipate he will play at least some?
I do. I'm optimistic about that, yeah. I am.
I know there's a difference between football shape and being, beach bod, right?
Yeah.
But, you gotta be impressed. He seems like he's in better shape every single year that he's been.
We were saying this when he wasn't here, that the one thing we knew, that when, hopefully he did get back, that we knew he'd be in shape. That's just not his, he's not the big fat guy, like some of the big guys are, and you worry about that. I mean, he's the real deal. He's blessed with some talent, so he looks like he's in good shape to me.
I'm right here, Coach.
I was talking about, inside tackle defense.
Coach, going back to last game, you guys didn't have Chris, and it seemed like you guys were all right. What do you think was the key to the success in managing last game?
Listen, I put that all on. It was a group effort. It was a unit thing that we talked about. We knew that we had to click on all cylinders and execution to have some good plays. That was a good football team that we went against, a good offense. Like I say, I was proud overall. There are still some things we need to clean up. The disappointing things were the missed tackles in the fourth quarter, and really one third down red zone play that could have been a 4-point play. Might have been the difference in the game. That's how close it was. But
In that sense, you think LJ's still getting his feet under him a little bit after?
you'd have to ask him. But I mean, listen, anytime you take that much time off and you take 1 week to get ready, but he looks pretty good. I thought he looked really good yesterday, moving around. So and we need him.
Steve, looking at Trevor Lawrence, what have you kind of seen from him from the last time he played in the playoffs till now, with accuracy and ability?
He gets better and better. Doug does a great job with him. The thing that always stands out, and this stood out when we played, he's huge. He's big. He's a big, strong quarterback that can run. I showed a clip this morning. He runs. He didn't slide, and he's running over people. He's in the pocket. People get around him, and he's getting out. He's just a big, strong guy that can throw the football. I just see I thought he was great when he was in college and knew he'd be a good player, but he just looks like he gets more and more confident as he plays.
And with Calvin Ridley, a wide receiver, what have you seen from him, especially last week, chemistry-wise already?
Yeah, really good. And obviously in that game, right? And it feels like, I know if I'm that quarterback and you have a guy like that and you have a game like you did last week, I got to believe you got to keep looking to him. And yet, you commit too many people to that one person, and they've got a lot of, this is as skilled, might be as skilled an offense as we're going to play all year. Now, I'm sure I'm going to say that 5 weeks from now about the next team we're playing, but you guys know what I'm saying. I mean, that was skilled last year. You add him to it. I got another running back, right, number 4 from Auburn, so.
Coach Chris is a talented guy, right? Like, when he's not on the field, are there things in the scheme that you just can't do?
I don't. There's probably things that we might add some things when he's not there. We might feel like we need some different things, and when he's there, maybe we don't have to do that. That's probably a better way. And we had to do a little bit of that last week. We had to find other ways to generate some pressure. I thought Mike Dan had done a nice job inside on that one play. The coverage was really good. We had a double on their star receiver and got executed. A good example of everything executed the way it was supposed to, all 11 guys, and we ended up getting a positive play. But, Chris will get right in the fold with the things that we're doing. There'll be some things in there, obviously, that we have always had in for Chris that we wouldn't have had in last week.
What challenges go into this guy?
Overall, I think a nice job. First game, in your hometown, probably a lot of eyeballs on him from people that he knew. Solid. I mean, we still got, like any rookie, he's got a ways to go, but I thought he had a solid game.
Coach, how much fun do you have putting unusual plays together? We think of Andy as the mad scientist coming up with snow globes and stuff. But you have, at a time, 5 guys up front, 6 in back, and forcing one-on-ones with the offensive linemen. And it's like, do you get creatively and have fun with some of these things?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're in this business as a coach, the chess game, the game within the game is a part of it that you really enjoy. That's the challenge in my job, I mean, the bigger challenge in my job is to be able to convey what we put together as coaches, get it taught and conveyed to players so that they can do it on the field. If you can't do, if something's missing there, it doesn't matter how good the scheme is, or how good the players are, if the connection isn't there. So that's another challenge. But I enjoy that. I always have. I learned from a great one, Jim Johnson. You guys know I'd worked for in Philadelphia, and I watched him do it for years, and it's a really enjoyable part of the business.
But you don't call Nick Bolton in the middle of the night like Andy calls Patrick sometimes.
Nick calls me.
In the middle of the night with an idea.
Nah, he hasn't done a middle of the night deal. But Nick, I tell you what, Nick's great that way. He came to me yesterday on something. Hey, I think we ought to do this or not to do that. And Chris likes to come to me with ideas on creative things. They're usually designed for Chris. When we get new players, I always, when you get new guys to come that have been in other places, I'm always asking them, was there something that you did that was really good there? It's a beg, borrow, and steal business, right?
I guess kind of in that regard, this is the third time you play the Jags in a calendar year. What goes into that as far as disguising and making sure you are changing up in a way?
Yeah, that's a great point. I'm sure they'll do the same thing. There is a little bit of, look, they ran this play like this last time. I would anticipate they will change that, but they might get back to the basic play. But I think in any offense, probably in any defense, it'd be the same thing, that there are foundational plays, calls that each team has, and maybe focus a little bit more on them and adjust in the game as to what they're going to do.
I know from the outside, Trent McDuffie looks like he's playing at a really high level. How much has he grown? How good is he? How much does that maybe make it a little bit easier for you if he's playing?
I'm glad you brought him up, because I thought he had a really good game. I thought he did really a good job of what we call block destruction. Like, he was getting off blocks the other night quick and getting himself involved in the run game, which a nickel has got to do, because he's like a linebacker when you put him out there. And his coverage skills have been really good. He'll have a challenge this week with the guy that they have in the slot. But I think he's excited about that, and hopefully we can do some good things. Him along with LJ, whichever other corner we put in there, if we could stay healthy, knock on wood, we can continue to do some things that we like to do when we got guys that we think can cover.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, good. Yeah, have a good day.
Hey, guys. All right, fire away.
Matt, are there specific improvements you're looking for, other than catching the ball, of course, from the wide receivers and the receiving group in general on Sunday?
Yeah, I think for us, the biggest thing is we know in that game what went on, and the ones that jump out, obviously, you can look at the drops, but really, we as a coaching staff just always start by looking at us, looking at the players, and then trying to figure out, like, what's the solution. So when you get into a game like that, whether it's throws, passes, catching, runs, whatever it is, you got to be real when you go through that. And the best part about the group of guys that we have in that receiver room is that they all know how much we trust them, and that's one game, and they know that they can be better. But at the same point in time, they know that we believe in them. And I know the drops was a big deal for all of us, but we got to be able to, whatever that is, whatever that means, this week in practice, the days after the game, mentally, physically, do everything we can to be better, but then also not let it be like something that you think about all the time. And I think that's Coach Reed's greatest strength, and I think it's a lot of the players' greatest strength is we move on and we show belief and trust in each other, and then we understand that when we get back out there, we all need to be better, everybody.
Matt, how do you define a drop, by the way? I mean, if a guy gets a hand on it, if it's two hands on it, I mean, you might see that differently than other people see it.
No, I see it the same way as most people. I mean, there's going to be some of the plays where a guy is running full speed and he's running a slant route, and it's there's no one on him. It's not contested, but it hits his hands. But it's a difficult catch. I think there's levels to different types of catches, and everybody sees it differently until you're the wide receiver and you have to actually run out there and try to catch the ball and have somebody get ready to hit you, have somebody on your back. It's not easy, but these guys are professionals. They know that, and I think that's, again, I keep going back to who we are, our identity in that room as an offense, and really it's a team in general, and it starts with Coach Reed, is we believe in one another. We trust one another, and we're excited to get back out and show what we're able to do.
Coach, what causes
Did you
that?
feel that hand on it, but maybe Patrick could have gotten it a little more in stride and better? I mean, is that part of the
Yeah, that's absolutely all a part of it. I mean, there's accuracy in every throw. There's contested catches. There's simple catches that you have. All of that goes hand in hand, and sometimes it can become a little bit contagious when you have a game like that. And so we gotta be able to get through that mentally and then physically by doing it. And that's everybody. That's not just the receivers. It's not just the quarterback. It's everybody. Whether it's the O-line with blocking, whether it's us as coaches, how we're teaching it, all that stuff. It's all hand in hand.
But Coach, when you don't see it in the preseason, you don't see it at camp, and all of a sudden you see it through various people, what do you think causes that?
Yeah, I don't know if I have an exact answer for you other than let's make it end quickly. And the way to do that is to come out this week and have a great game and put that behind us. And not, again, you can sit there and talk about it all day long in practice and always bring it up. That's not what the players want. That's not what we want. We need to be able to let them know what we expect and the standards here in this offense, and execution, details, fundamentals, all that stuff that's rather simple. And then they just go out and do it. And then if they know that you believe in them, that's a big part of getting over those hurdles, and those players know that.
Is it your expectation that Travis will be up Sunday, and what kind of boost could that provide?
Again, I think that's something, that's a Coach Reed, Brett Veach, all that. I mean, I thought he looked good yesterday in practice, which was great to see. But again, all of that is probably hourly, daily, whatever you want to say. And we as coaches and offensively, we just got to be prepared for both sides, just like it was last week.
Matt, how much are you guys still in the process of getting wide receivers and quarterback on the same page, especially with the option route type stuff you guys are?
That's probably an ongoing thing, and that's every year whenever you have new players. If it's somebody that was here the previous year, you want to grow from that. And I think that's a lot of times it's about the offenses that find their identity that season the quickest. Every year, no matter who you are, whether you've had a quarterback that's been there 15 years or 1 year. It takes a little bit of time to figure out who your players are and how you want to use them and how they go. And the teams that find it the quickest get going the best usually. So right now, it's just a matter of just letting these guys go out, keep working towards their strengths, and going to go play football and play fast.
Couple more.
A follow-up to what Sam said, like, you kept 7. And I know it's always great to spread the ball around and not know where the ball's going and all that, but is it harder to keep that many guys, in sync, to get that many guys in sync?
No, it's not harder. It does give you depth, but at the same point in time, it probably goes back to when we're in practice. If you're an 11 personnel, you have 3 wide receivers that are out on that play in practice. That's 3. That means you got 4 guys that aren't in that play, and getting the timing. But that's very common. It's the guys that aren't out there at that time for that rep that got to mentally be locked in, and then also be able to steal reps as well off to the side with the quarterback and stay locked in that way too. So it's just a combination of all of that. By no means makes it harder. It just allows those guys to kind of figure out what position they're at, what they do well, and then how do we fit them into what we think we do well conceptually.
Darius said yesterday, the coach told him, calm down.
Yeah.
You just need to calm down. Is that old adage in sports, be quick but don't hurry, that maybe he's...
100%. Yeah. You want to, these guys, trust me, these players that were out there playing last Thursday night, every one of them want to win just as much as us, and they all care. And so they get more opportunities to show what they can do and what they're all about, and I think that's the beauty of sports. It's the beauty of our team. The people that we have in this building is there's a belief and trust, and so now you feel that. And it's not a Debbie Downer, you're hanging your head and you don't want to go out to practice, you're worrying about drops. No, that's not where we're at. We're about going the other way, being positive.
3 more.
Could you
Blair,
speak to
Nick.
the issues in the running game, and how do you get more production from the running back?
I think for us specifically, a lot of things, and it's crazy to say, with Patrick, but this offense, being able to run the football and have Patrick and the rest of the guys on this offense, it certainly helps. And, Patrick used his legs when he needed to help in the run game with some scrambles on first, second, not just third down, but also first and second. But we know, and our offensive linemen know, that every week they want to be able to protect and they want to be able to create holes for the running backs to find those holes. And you'd love to average 4.5 yards per carry, which is great because it makes second and third down a lot easier. But again, that's a focus for us. We want to keep being great at it. And the way to do that is to have solid execution all week in practice and then take it to the game on game day.
Yeah, Matt, when it comes to short yardage situations, regardless of the play, what are kind of the key points or maybe mentality you need execution-wise to convert?
So a few things with that. I will say it's pretty, you'll see, and it's tough to get 1 yard in those gotta-have-it situations. That said, whether it's a run or a pass, it's about the execution. It's about doing whatever you need to do to get that 1 yard. And so you watch games across the league, and it is not easy. So we just need to do whatever we can to make sure, whether it's a run, a pass, whatever, that we are finding a way to move the sticks on 3rd and 1. And however that is, we need to do it. And we understand that last week wasn't good enough, and we need to get better there.
Coach, Skyy had some, as a rookie last year, had some up and downs last season. He's expected to take that next step as not a rookie anymore. So how does he move on from last week?
Pretty easily. I look at Skyy, and if there's one guy on that offense, when you talk about the mental side and just how do you get back to the next game, he went through, what an awesome story of him last year, going through what he went through with some of the muffs and punts and special teams, and then for him to do what he did at the end of the year. And me just knowing Skyy, who he is as a person, how mentally resilient he is, I have no concerns at all that he's going to be able to bounce back and have a great year. Just game by game. You're going to have some games where you want to, catch every single ball. It's not easy, but if there, we have a lot of great guys in that room, and Skyy's a guy that, he's a positive guy, and I think he gets stronger. Sometimes by maybe even being questioned on where he is with that kind of stuff. I kind of like that because I believe in him, and I know we do as a staff and teammates. So we're looking forward to him growing.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, take care.
He's right here.
Hi, Sky.
How you doing?
Hey, when you just think about last Thursday, and you look at the video, can you think of a reason why just things didn't click for everybody and why there were a lot of drops?
I feel like it was just a lack of focus in our room, and I feel like doing the little things consistently every day is gonna like keep your focus throughout the week, throughout the day, and I feel like we were lacking in that area.
Skyy, can you give us a sense of what the mood's been like in the wide receiver room this week?
It's been good. We had a good practice yesterday. We got to watch the film as soon as we came in on what was that, Tuesday, and we're on to Jacksonville.
How did you personally just handle last Thursday?
It sat with me a little long because we had that, we had a decent break, but I flushed it though. I'm good. I'm on to Jacksonville.
Besides catching the ball, are there specific areas of improvement you're looking for from the receivers and yourself on Sunday from what happened against the Lions?
Just every aspect. We understand that wasn't our best performance, and it needs to get better.
Skyy, how did last year help you, the ups and downs you had?
Yeah.
How did that help you to bounce back so quickly?
Just knowing that this is life. Like, life will hit you. There's going to be upsets. There's going to be downs in life. So you can't stop. You got to keep going.
We see guys that look at social media as soon as the game is over, right?
Yeah.
Try to pull up their name, see what's been talked about.
Yeah.
How do you block all that out?
Don't do it. Just don't. As cliche as it seems, you just got to like stay in your own little bubble when stuff like that happens and get right with yourself. So you're able to come back, make a bounce back.
When you have a game that you're not as happy with, how does Pat kind of reinstill confidence with you and you maybe after the game or throughout the week, the next week?
Pat's great with stuff like that. Just always making sure you're in a great headspace. So like even if like you see it all the time, like if you see somebody drops the ball in the game, he's coming right back at you, trying to get you to forget about it. So I feel like just the whole locker room has been doing good. Is just flipping to the next page.
What can this receiver core do against Jacksonville? How do you evaluate their defense?
They got a good defense. They got a lot of like long athletic corners, and their secondary is pretty solid. So I feel like it'll be a good matchup, and we can go out there and give a better effort than last week for sure.
Skyy, when you got, sorry.
Is there something you're dealing with your thumb or something?
No, I just jammed it a little bit. It's trying to keep the impact off of it, but it's cool right now.
So Skyy, when the play's covered and everything, you guys got to take off and scramble drill and just try to find spots. What are you going through to be able to get open and find that viable option for Pat to throw to?
It's kind of like a feel thing. It's hard to explain. You just got to basically just find the space and give him a window to throw.
Can you take us through what was going on, what maybe your role was on the fourth down play, what you were thinking, ball in the air, was it break down, was it,
Yeah.
you had to kind of move out a little bit, just take us through what was going on your end?
Yeah, it was kind of, it definitely broke into a scramble drill. So I just tried to I tried to find space. I really just tried to find space, and as I'm running, I felt like Jay Watt and his defender in like my area. So I kind of hesitated a little bit once the ball was in the air. I didn't know if he threw it to me or not. So it was kind of like a whole weird scenario. So
25 yards down the field is not
Yeah.
a normal, was it kind of hard to kind of find your landmark on where you were trying to get to as well, going that far?
it was kind of like we got to get the first down no matter what it looks like. So that's what I was thinking at least.
How close did you come to catching it? It's hard to tell from where.
Yeah. I definitely came super close to catching it. I probably should have caught it, but I didn't. So, on to Jacksonville.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Skyy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. You can go get one guy. I bet.